Well, good afternoon, or morning, or evening, whatever time it is where you're watching this video. The video for the 29th is once again, it's both and, not either or. A friend sent me one of my videos from 2011 in which I emphasized the importance of inner work. I still do. Sometimes, however, as in that video, I come across as promoting the either or concept, which I believe is exactly what causes confusion and leads to the polarized world where we live. As I see it today, there are many people claiming to do the inner work, yet it does not seem to have much, if any, effect on the outer world. Frankly, I don't believe it ever will. Until humanity and our creator or creators deal with both, we will continue to live in an insane world run by demons and psychopaths. Whatever awakening we will experience, it will not change for most people until the changes occur in the outer world. If that is not going to happen, I see the human experiment as doomed to failure. That doesn't sound like a very optimistic blurb, and perhaps it's not. Except I do have hope. And I was criticized recently by saying that hope is hopeless. Why hope? No, you're supposed to know things. Well, I thought I did know things, but events over the past couple years of my life, especially the last year and a half or so, have made me realize that I really don't know much of anything. And what I thought I knew most of my life is now getting very close examination, and I'm going through a period of questioning. I will not, however, give up the idea that the whole thing ultimately boils down to creator. Who created the whole thing to begin with? Some say we did. Some say we were given the power of creation, or at least of co-creation. Well, to an extent, I believe that's true. But that power was taken away from us and usurped when extraterrestrials or demons or whatever you want to call them stepped in and took over the human race, shut off a whole bunch of our gifts, talents, and abilities, just closed us down, shut us down, so that we had basically only a couple of chakras operating, and the rest of them were basically inoperable because we were created to be slaves of some other entity, not God. And you say to me, but Ron, don't you teach that everything is part of God? Yes, I guess it is at some level. But for some reason, God allowed dark forces to take over. And I don't understand that. I probably will never understand that. It doesn't make sense to me why a loving God would allow his own creation to be handicapped so that we would forget who we were and expect to make good decisions, not remembering that we're connected to all that is, not remembering that we are love personified, not remembering that we are co-creators, not remembering any of that, just existing day by day, year in and year out, lifetime after lifetime. And it goes on, and it has been going on and on forever with the human race, not only enslaved, but seemingly becoming more enslaved. There was a time, if you go back in history, where they built the pyramids and other things, and we don't have the technology to do that today in the 21st century. We still don't have the technology to build the pyramids and to create some of those monoliths that were created all over the world. Some of them are even under the ocean. So this was a worldwide phenomenon created by a culture that is technologically more advanced than we are in the 21st century. And we seem to have regressed, not progressed. Why? Because someone, some creator allowed us to be shut down and allowed the creation to be thwarted and moved in a very, very heinous and bad direction that is damaging to life itself. And I really truly believe that if there is not divine intervention, we're not going to survive, and everything we try is hopeless. And it's inner and outer work that has to be done. We have to begin to recognize who we are on the inside, recognize that we are part of creator, that we are connected to all of creation. We have to recognize this thing and reclaim it. But we also have to take steps to change the world around us and to bring the world around us into alignment with divine principles of love your neighbor as yourself, not rule your neighbor as you wish, which is what the cabal and the dark forces seem to do. They rule over us without even consent. And if we say, I don't consent, they laugh at us. And don't say they don't, because I've seen and heard testimonies of people that have experienced it firsthand. And I've experienced it firsthand myself. They don't buy it. They think that they're the boss and we're the slaves and we have to do what we're told or else. And the or else can mean very horrible things, like the loss of our current life. And if I'm going to give up my life, I don't ever want to come back again. I came here this time to see the positive changes brought about in the world. And if that isn't going to happen, if that isn't going to come to pass in my lifetime, I don't want to waste my time coming back again and again and again to just go on the same old treadmill and repeat the same old mistakes that have always been repeated because somebody doesn't allow it to be changed. It has to be changed, and it's an inner and outer work. It's not either or. It's not just do the inner work and the outer work will take care of itself. No, it won't. It doesn't. It never has. It never will. It never will. It's both and. And yes, it is important to do both. It is important to do the inner work. I'm not putting that down. But you can't leave the other undone. It's a commitment of the total being to the changes that need to happen. Not just what we want to change inside of us, not just our outlook, not just our perception, but we need to change the way we respond, the way we act, what we live for, the effort that we put forth in our physical life on this planet, challenging the powers that think that they have the right to be the boss. And they don't have the right to be the boss. They don't have that right. They have stolen that right from everybody else. They are dark forces. Wherever they came from is irrelevant. They exist. They exist, and the evidence of their existence is everywhere that we look in this world. Everywhere that we look, it's there. You can turn your eyes away from it. You can pretend it's not there. You can pretend it's different than what it is. But you still ultimately are going to have to deal with the powers that claim to be in control of the world and exercise control as if they have it by divine right. It's usurped, not real. Anyway, I want you to consider these things. I'm considering, I'm weighing everything that I can possibly weigh in the balances. And I'm still having a short fuse with people that just try to argue with me. I'm not into arguing. Listen to my video. If you don't like it, you can say, I don't like it, Ron, or I don't agree with you. But don't try to enter into an argument with me, because I'm just going to delete you or block you or something. And that's the only thing that I know to do. I'm not going to waste my time fighting people that are still not seeing the whole picture, not seeing that it's both and, not either or. Thank you for listening and considering what I've said, and namaste. Oh, and the reason I look like this, I just got out of the shower. Bye-bye for now.